Hey guys, how's it going? Good morning and welcome to my weekly astrology forecast. My name is Alex of Coyote Star Astrology and this is my forecast for the week of Monday the 7th, 2019 and coming off of a really intense weekend. So I'm going to spend some time this video talking about the sort of shadow side of Capricorn, because in my last video, it was a New Year's video. I wanted to start the year with some positive information for you guys, but then the week came through, the vibe came in, and I looked at what I'm going through. I looked at what a lot of people I love seem to be going through, and I realized that I kind of tried to sidestep this whole aspect of what's going on. And so I'm going to discuss that today to sort of confront it and go through it so that some of you that might be experiencing that heaviness don't feel like you're so alone, and we can all kind of commiserate together, because these are hard times, seriously. So let's talk about why that is. I want to show you guys the chart, and I hope my phone doesn't die before it lets me. I wanted to put it up in one of those cool little windows, but my program isn't working, so we're going to go ghetto, and I'm going to show you on my phone. So this is the chart right now, and I circled all the Capricorn, so you can see how intense it is. So we have the sun at 17 degrees Capricorn, right in between Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn. And then we have Mercury there on the end, and that's the south node in Capricorn. We do have Jupiter and Venus in Sag now, which I'll talk about in a minute, and we've got Mars in Aries, which is good too. But if we're looking at this as this, like, cosmic chessboard full of players, and these planets are pieces in this game of life, Capricorn's obviously gonna win right now, and we do have Venus in Sag, which is positive, and we do have Jupiter in Sag, and we have Mars in Aries. Those are some really optimistic, fiery signs. But when we look at the pileup that we have in Capricorn, which is very serious and has this kind of sobering element, very much focused on work, we can see how the scales are tipping in a more serious, kind of heavy direction right now. We have the sun right now in between two major heavy hitters, Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. And a lot of Capricorn is about having to do things now so that we can get to where we want in the future, right? It's looking way ahead and doing things now that are going to bring us success and security. But a lot of Capricorn brings up limitation and the system. So we can feel somewhat hindered and limited by the system right now, or the way that we currently in this day and age have to do things in order to be taken care of financially, in order to receive respect and kind of like a placement in society. There's some major structures that are still in place, and consciousness itself is moving forward and expanding, but these structures are still in place. So we're at a really weird time where a lot of the things we have to do in order to survive are seeming very outdated, but the powers that be are still in power, so we kind of have to, it's weird. And it can be soul crushing, honestly. That's another aspect to the shadow of Capricorn, is the workaholic and carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders and feeling like you have to do it alone. You have to remember, in the zodiac, Capricorn comes before Aquarius. So in Aquarius, we find our community, we find our friends, we find our tribe. We can kind of like share the work, right? But in Capricorn, you're doing it by yourself. And you are putting in the hours by yourself, and it can be lonely, and it can be, frankly, unhealthy if we don't get some fresh air and remember to self-nurture, which we'll get to later in the video. But real quick, Venus is in Sag now. She came into Sag today, Monday the 7th. Hallelujah. We're out of Scorpio. And there is a little bit of, I don't know. It almost feels like a little bit of trauma coming out of that. That was intense. That Venus Scorpio retrograde was intense. And we literally pretty much just left it this morning. And we had Uranus go direct yesterday, which means all the planets in the chart are direct now. So it's go time. It's time to move forward. And we are closing the door on this intense period of retrograde and going inward and change and transformation. So with that, of course, comes loss. As we transform, we let go of aspects of ourselves. So we're really coming out a completely new person, and we're climbing out of the underworld, out of Scorpio. But rather than getting to like take a vacation or relax or like hit the spa or whatever, it's time to get to work, because we came right out of Scorpio into this Capricorn intensity. So it can feel exhausting. And we have Mars in Aries now, which is awesome, because it's kind of this like youthful inspiration, feeling like you can see the projects you want to do and you just want to start them and you want to get them going and you want to get to the end goal. But then we've got all this Capricorn that's saying, wait. You have to go through all these hoops in order to do it. And there's all of these steps and all this money. And like, meanwhile, you're just trying to survive. So it's like, yeah, it's really having to take a very serious look at life. And a lot of Capricorn can be like having to do things the hard way sometimes, and have, the more difficult aspects of life show up all at once, in order to make some pretty difficult decisions about where we're going. And those questions, where are we going? Where should we go from here? What step to take? When we're looking at it through a Capricorn lens, it really has to come through this lens of what is ultimately best for me long term, in a very sober and grounded, mature way. Not the super spontaneous, throwing caution to the wind type of way where we like buy the ticket to the foreign land and just go. This is more like, wait, what do I really need right now in order to have lasting and sustainable happiness? But let's talk about Sun conjunct Pluto, because that's coming through this week and it's intense. Sun rules Leo. So this is this kind of king or queen aspect, and coming into conjunct Pluto exact on Friday, Pluto being decay and rebirth and, the surfacing of things that have been held under the surface so that they can be transmuted. So Sun conjunct Pluto is essentially kind of like a Scorpio sun, if you think about it. It kind of adds this magnetic sort of dark element to our Capricorn sun, and a Capricorn sun is serious as it is. So it's really a power position, because Pluto is about how we wield our power. And I think this week we're being asked to step into a position of power in our life, of honor, and really diving deep, bringing some last fears to the surface in order to be burned and illuminated by the light of the beautiful aspects of our personality, our strength, our courage, all, sun aspects, in order to come into this position of power at last in a certain area of our life. So this is a week where I think we're going to be put in this vice and squeezed until we can hardly stand it, and then come through with some kind of power that we haven't even had up until this point. It's really, really beautiful. So there is this kind of last little bit of Scorpio coming through, it feels like, with this week. But yeah, I think I pulled a tarot card this morning. I pulled the 6 of Cups reversed, which is kind of perfect, because the 6 of Cups reversed in part is about remembering to tap into our child our inner child and our childlike essence and innocence. And I think that can be really hard to do right now because Capricorn is so much about being the adult and taking things seriously, and really wanting to remember to tap into the polarity point of that, which is Cancer, which is the inner child. And, you know, when it rains like it is right now, we can go out and let the rain fall on our face and splash around in the puddles and experience the joy of rain. We don't need to just worry about tracking the mud inside and, you know, all of the other little like adult things that we think of when we think of a storm or something. We only think of preparation and what we need to do, where we can also just tap into, you know, our childlike nature and just experience joy in every moment, which is the thing that Capricorn doesn't often do because it's so hard on itself, which brings me to my next point, which is self-compassion, remembering to have self-compassion right now. You know, making time to self-nurture, self-soothe. It's the other thing Capricorn is not very good at all. I totally got sick beginning of the year and found myself being incredibly hard on myself because I couldn't crush out my work as quickly as I wanted to be able to, and really lacking a sense of self-compassion right now with all this Capricorn. I think a lot of us are. So just remembering to soften and have self-compassion while you lay out the framework, the groundwork to your dreams, which is really what we're all doing right now. We're literally just laying the foundation for things that are going to come into fruition later on down the road. So I feel you guys. I feel you on the hard work. And yeah, keep at it. If you would like to reach out to me for a natal chart reading, you can email me. My email will be down below. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Talk soon.